Hey, what's going on, everyone? Today we're going to be talking about Persona 5 The Phantom X, and specifically version 2.1, the brand new update that just rolled out. And honestly, there's a ton of stuff packed into this one, so I wanted to take the time and really walk through everything in detail with you. If you've been playing this game regularly, then you already know how these seasonal updates can completely change your weekly routine in the game. And if you're newer, this is the perfect moment to jump in because version 2.1 is built around a super fun summer theme that honestly feels like a little game inside the game. I want to break this down in a way that feels like we're just chatting about what's new, what's worth your time, and how you can make the most of it without stressing out over all the limited time content. So, first things first, the big highlight that everybody is noticing right away is the summer event. They've called it Summer Swimsuits Sea Time Part 1, which is basically the developers throwing as much seasonal flair as possible into the title. And yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. The Phantom Thieves head out into a beachside school trip vibe with a mixture of minigames, challenges, and story moments. What's fun is that this isn't just a reskin of existing content. They actually built event stages that feel different from the usual missions. One stage might have you running into these pirate-style enemies that you need to shoot down in a kind of challenge mode, and the twist is that doing well in these stages earns you unique event items like rare seashells, metajewels, and other currencies you can only get during the event window. And because it's all time limited, there's this little push to log in consistently, not just to check dailies, but to make progress through the event stages before the whole thing wraps up in early October. Now, the real showstopper here, the part that people are going to be chasing hard, is the brand new Phantom Idol variant they introduced, which is Tropical Motoha. She's a 5-star blessed type, and the design fits the summer theme perfectly. But don't be fooled by the cute swimsuit visuals, because this version of Motoha is actually very powerful in battle. Her whole moveset is built around the idea of synergy with HP recovery. The more you heal, the more her kit gets rolling, and her third skill is where things really heat up. It lets her strike all enemies on the field while also activating a state called Summer Hype. That state essentially boosts the effectiveness of her other skills until the end of the next turn, which means you can line up some nasty combos if you time things right. If you've been trying to build a team that can handle longer fights without burning out, she's kind of a dream unit because she rewards you for keeping your squad healthy. And you know how it goes in gacha games. When they roll out a limited seasonal unit with unique mechanics like this, you either pull for her now or you risk waiting a year or more for a rerun, if that even happens. So yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of people trying to grab her while she's available. While we're talking cosmetics, Makoto Nijima got a summer outfit as part of this update too. This one is more of a purely aesthetic change. It doesn't impact her stats or her battle performance, but it's another way to lean into the seasonal vibe. These kinds of outfits cost meta jewels in the in-game shop, so you're paying the premium currency for it. And that's going to be a personal decision depending on how much you like Makoto. Um, from what I've seen, a lot of players are still going to grab it because, let's be real, Persona fans love their characters, and just having Makoto in a beach outfit for the event feels like a fun bonus. Something else I really like about this update is how it folds in side stories like Motoha, Riko, and Luful. These aren't throwaway filler stories either. They're built into the event in a way that makes them feel special. If you complete these stories, you unlock the ability to invite friends to the fireworks festival, which is another big highlight of the event. That's the kind of detail that gives the game a more personal feel because you're not just grinding stages, you're also seeing the relationships between characters grow in a summer vacation setting. It's got that slice of life Persona energy that people fell in love with back in Persona 5, and now it's integrated into this mobile format in a pretty smooth way. Speaking of the fireworks festival, this is one of those moments where the devs really leaned into the theme. You'll actually be collecting fireworks shells during the event, and then you can craft fireworks to set off at the festival. It's a small thing, but it's also a fun reward loop. Farm the right items, craft something flashy, and then experience a bit of seasonal flair with your characters. It also ties back to the friend system, because who you bring along for that festival moment will depend on the side stories you completed. So if you're a completionist, you're going to want to make sure you go through all those character stories so you can see as much of the content as possible. Now let's talk about the login bonuses, because I know some people look at events like this and think they're going to have to grind their lives away. The nice thing is that even if you're more of a casual player, the 7-day login event called Seaside Vacation gives you rewards just for showing up. Across the 7 days, you can snag platinum tickets and other helpful resources, which means even if you don't have the time to push through all the event stages, you're still walking away with something. That's a good balance because it keeps casual players engaged without overwhelming them, while still giving hardcore players plenty to chew on with the deeper content. There are also changes to the Phantom Pass with this update. For those who aren't as familiar, the Phantom Pass is basically the game's season pass system. In version 2.1, it's been updated with new missions, new tiers of rewards, and like usual, there's a seasonal reset. So if you had progress in the previous season, that's all wrapped up, and now you're starting fresh. That can be frustrating if you were just shy of a reward last season, but it's also an opportunity to reset your goals and start working toward the new batch of rewards. Some people feel like the Phantom Pass is a bit of a grind, but it does make sense in the structure of a live service game like this. And if you were already logging in regularly, the new missions will give you even more incentive to keep up. One of the smaller but fun additions in this update is fishing. Yeah, they actually added fishing mechanics to Persona 5 The Phantom X in version 2.1, and it's exactly the kind of relaxing minigame that fits with the summer setting. You're out at the seaside, so of course they want to let you fish, and even though it's not a massive system, it's still another way to take a break from the constant combat and dungeon crawling. Persona games have always been about balancing different types of activities, and I think adding more casual minigames like fishing helps this mobile game feel closer to the core Persona experience. I should also mention there were synergy updates and balancing changes in this patch. These are the kinds of tweaks that don't make flashy headlines, but they matter a lot if you're trying to optimize your teams. Some character synergies got adjusted to make them more useful or to prevent overpowering combos. It's always a bit of a mixed bag with balance updates. Some players love them, some feel like their favorite character got nerfed, but overall it looks like the devs are trying to make sure the meta doesn't get too stale. If you're a player who loves experimenting with team builds, you'll probably notice the difference once you start trying out new combos. Now let's circle back to the overall structure of this event, because one thing that stood out to me is just how much there is to do. Between the event stages, the shooting challenge, collecting rare seashells, building fireworks, side stories, and mini games like fishing, this is one of the densest updates we've had in a while. And because it's only part 1, that means there's more to come. The event window runs until October, so you can expect part 2 to expand on this theme with even more content. That's exciting because it makes the game feel alive. Instead of just giving us one small event that lasts a week or two, they're committing to a multi-part seasonal event that stretches across the whole month. That's good design for a live service title because it gives you something to look forward to week after week. What I really appreciate here is how Persona 5, The Phantom X continues to strike a balance between fan service and gameplay. On one hand, yes, we're getting characters in swimsuits, we're getting beach trips and fireworks festivals, and that's all classic Persona fan service. But on the other hand, we're also getting meaningful gameplay mechanics tied into those themes. Motoha's new form isn't just cosmetic, it's a strong new unit with unique abilities. The fireworks festival isn't just a cutscene, it's tied to who you invite and what items you've farmed. Even fishing, as small as it is, feels like a legitimate break in the gameplay loop. That balance is what makes the update feel like more than just a seasonal cash grab. Another thing worth mentioning is how this event might affect the in-game economy. Because a lot of the rewards are tied to limited time event currencies, you're going to have to manage your resources carefully. Do you spend your metajewels on pulling for Tropical Motoha, or do you hold on to them in case another limited character drops in part 2? Do you buy the Makoto swimsuit outfit, or do you save that currency for something that might give you gameplay advantages later? These are the choices the game is pushing you to think about, and it's part of the fun and the frustration of a gacha system.